Happy Friday, everybody. Gonna do something a little different this week. Gonna read you a poem by Rudyard Kipling. Very famous poem. Chances are you've heard it or read it yourself somewhere along the line. It has popped up in my life several times along the way here and there, and always made me stop and think. And recently it popped up again. I thought, this is worth sharing just in case someone has never heard it before. The poem is called If. It's titled If, I-F. And I've read up a little bit about it today, and it appears some people think it was written in honor of the leader of the Jameson raid in a British military action that was considered a disaster, but the British public, greatly honored this man, the leader's courage, etc. And lots of people think he wrote it for his son, for his children. But it was written in early 1900s. I can't remember exactly. I think it's 1904 or 5, something like that. I'm not a historian, but written at the turn of the century, of the 20th century. So, anyway, I'm going to read it to you. I want you to bear in mind a lot of the language. You got to think about the time it came from. Yes, it's written as if to a man, and it's about becoming a man. But clearly, it doesn't take a lot of work mentally to realize this is written about becoming a human, becoming a well-rounded, strong, true human being. And so I want you to keep that in mind as you read, because I'm going to read it the way he writes it. You can put it into whatever context you want, but it's beautiful. And I've read it several times through now. Hopefully I can get through one part without crying. Hopefully, because that's how much it moves me, and that's why I want to share it with you. So, here we go. All right, one more drink. I'm ready. Okay. If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Ooh, made it. I'm telling you, there's lines in there that really get me. And I want to talk about just a few of them. Let me see here. I love the stanza that includes, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. We're all going to be lied about. You just can't concern yourself with that. That's why you've got to know your truth, and you don't engage in the lying, and you don't give it any power. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. Same thing. Hate begets hate. That's just foundational stuff. And I absolutely love that. This one too. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. When I was first reading that, I'm like, why would he call those impostors? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized triumph and disaster, they're like these fleeting things. They're monumental. And we make them huge sometimes, even when they aren't so huge. And to realize they're temporal. And you're going to keep moving. I love that. I love that he calls those imposters. Let's see. This line here, this line is the only line in the whole poem that's challenging for me, that I'm like, I don't know if I like that. It's in the last stanza, and it's, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you. I think, my initial reaction is hurt feelings. And the more I've thought about it, it's like, that's not what he's talking about. None of this is talking about, it's all talking about surface stuff in a lot of ways that people let get them all twisted and distorted. And so I think what he's saying, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, he's saying you know the reality. And yes, people that love you can hurt you the most. Absolutely can hurt you the most. But hurting your heart, breaking your heart, doesn't mean you are broken. I think that's what he's getting at. And I really love that now. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and of course, this is so much turn of the century, of the 20th century, to say yours is the earth and everything that's in it. I certainly have a different perspective on that now. I see it kind of the reverse, that I need to be part of the earth. But I get it. I get the context of the time. And let's see. I know I'm missing one more. Oh, yes, this one. I've been through this. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, that's rough when what you've said gets twisted and used against you. But you have to take it. You just have to take it. And of course, who can argue with this line? If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. This stuff is all so reasonable. It's so true. You do need to trust yourself. But if someone doubts you vociferously, especially if there's someone you love or respect, yeah, you should account for it. You should think about what they're saying. You should take it in with full confidence that you will do right for yourself. But adhering to wise counsel, at least hearing it and considering it is a big deal. Anyway, that poem always moves me. Seriously, that's the first time I've gotten through it without, because I've been reading it, practicing for this, without crying. And it was close, because there's a particular line in there that really gets me. And, did I share that line? Wait, give me this back. Where'd it go? I had to write this out too, because obviously I can't look at my phone reading when I did this. Oh yes, this is the line that breaks me, but won't right now because I got through it. Or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. Yeah, that hits home for me big time. And there is no filling We've all been destroyed, hearts broken. All manner of cataclysm can happen in a life. But there's no feeling like rising from that destruction. It may take a really long time, but you can, and you will rise from it if you want to, bad enough. If you're willing to understand how you got there and make those changes and evolve. So there you go. That's the poem If by Rudyard Kipling and my interpretations and reading of it. Happy Friday. I'll catch you next week.